to create a local video recording and audio. All right, here we go. Okay, here goes. It begins in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to The Instance.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Instance. This is The Instance, and we're here. It's episode 416. My name is Scott Johnson, joined today by Dills. Hello, Dills.
Hello, Scott.
Hey, man. Nice to hear you, see you, have you?
Yeah, nice to hear and see you as well. Well,
Yeah.
just here, but
Well,
you know.
yeah. Here's
I'll take
fine.
1 out of 2.
1 out of 2 isn't bad. That's 50%. Glass half full, baby. Also with us,
Very positive
Terpster's here as well. Hi, Terpster.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hey, that goes against the rumors that you are somehow not here anymore, and I don't like those rumors that you're not here anymore.
Well, admittedly, they were true for a couple of weeks when
Yeah.
I wasn't here.
Right.
And then the last show we did, I was here, and this show, so you could argue that no.
Yeah, this week it's untrue.
I would say Patrick's never here. Oh my
Yeah.
God!
What
the
the
hell,
hell?
man? Patrick's never here.
Yeah, what a bunch of
Kicking it old school.
malarkey there. Yeah, Patrick's still on vacation. He's vacationing in Finland, land of Nokia,
Thing
see-through
is,
people.
honestly,
Yeah.
right? So Patrick's, much like yourself, Scott, self-employed.
Yeah.
So isn't every day a vacation? Truly.
Here's how I look at it. The last time I really took any time off, I kind of can't tell you. So I don't know how he's managing it. My guess is his wife has a really great job. That's my thinking, because they somehow managed that to work out. But for me to take time off, it's kind of an enormous undertaking, and I envy him, I guess is what I'm saying. I already envied him for his silky brown skin and his delicious voice. But other than that,
Talking about Garrosh, or are you talking about Patrick?
a little garage, a little little less garage these days, a little more Grom.
Gromatch.
Yeah, I got. Did you guys see the sneak video? Did you happen to catch it? Okay. Did you, Dills? Did you see the death?
No.
The
Isn't it going to be very much frowned upon if we talk about the ending of patch 6.2
Yeah.
and potentially
Yeah.
after watching that video,
Yeah.
just to spoil it further, I kind of feel like the end of the expansion.
Possibly.
So,
Possibly.
is this the last patch?
No.
Isn't this the last patch?
No, okay. So real quick, to catch people up, if you missed it yesterday, I had a quick 45-minute interview with Corey Stockton. We try to do these from time to time, usually when there's a big patch or an expansion coming out. Corey's always a fun guest to have, and we had a really good conversation. Lots to do with 6.2, of course, and we talked about 6.3, the potential 6.3. And while he didn't give any specifics, I think you listen to that audio and you will come away going, "Oh yeah, of course there's a 6.3. Of course there is." He's not going to tell
I
us what it
always
is.
thought there was going to be a 6.3, and then I saw that cinematic, and it kind of made me feel like obviously they were saying, yes, there's more to the story,
Yeah.
but it kind of felt like this was all we were going to have for now.
Well, don't you feel like the thing that happened at the end, that thing that went into the thing, might come back as a worser thing?
Well, yeah, but I didn't think necessarily in the next patch. I thought it might be like in a following expansion or in the expansion after the expansion
Oh,
or
I
something
see.
to that effect. But I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know
because
either.
It was always said that there would be a more Legion-y vibe to the last thing.
You're right.
I-
And this
that's
does,
what-
then this has a more Legion.
Hellfire has that, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know.
We'll see. I don't know. But
Cryptic at best.
make
but
sure you-
all I can say is watch it because it is the coolest in-game cinematic in a long while. The entrance of a certain memorable character and the scale imposed is just so wow.
it's pretty awesome. Before this, I had kind of previously considered the thing you're talking about to be not that big a deal in terms of how I visualized it. But man, that's something else to see that the way they showed
Yeah.
it. In-game
Yeah.
cinematic, people are really nailing it. So we haven't spoiled anything. If you don't want to watch it, don't. We won't talk more about it. But the Corey interview, I think, is really important for those also who want to hear Blizzard's views on some of the recent issues with flying and dealing with, the uprising of fans when it came to the flying issue. Or is it?
What did he say? Give me a spoiler.
Basically, just described how
Did
freaking
he say
hard it
whoops,
is.
or did he say like?
Yeah.
You know,
He talked about
Nah,
how
it's
he
cool.
talked about how hard it is, and he talked about what they do internally and how they deal with this stuff, and how big of a deal the flying thing was for them
have
internally.
they decided whose game it is yet? Is it our game or is it their game?
Well, see, and I asked him. I said, with all this armchair quarterbacking that goes on, at what point do you say, what is a compromise? What is caving to a fan's wants and needs? What is sticking to your own vision? Like, where do you find this? And it was just, I thought, really interesting. I don't want to spoil it here. People go listen to it. It was really interesting. But the bottom line was, you can tell that this has been a bit of agony for them, that they are, they're owning up to some stuff. Like, nobody really intended people to just sit with their garrisons all day and not do much else. And there's a lot of people doing that. So we talk about that, and it's a lot. In other words, this interview isn't just tell me about the wilds of Tanaan and what we can expect as we walk through. It's not like that. It's a lot of, I think we cover a lot of stuff that is on the minds of people, and there's some that are so weirdly up in arms that it doesn't matter what we say, they'll not like the interview. But I think those who maybe give it a real listen, they'll get a better view as to what it might be like to be Blizzard in the hailstorm that is currently fans being upset about one or two things. So cool. Worth checking out.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Forward to it. So it's out now.
Yeah, out now on this feed. If you haven't heard
Corey's
it,
been with Blizzard 10 years now.
Got a shield.
So he get a shield.
Yeah, not the Terpster shield though.
Exactly. They get the Lord
Honor's shield.
The less honored one. I think after 30 years, there's rumors they might implement the Sonorous shield.
Yeah,
but
you think?
Then you get the risk of people dual wielding shields, which has been long a dream for many a protection warrior or paladin. I don't think that we'll see dual wielding shields in Warcraft anytime soon.
When do we get Dills? When do your pants become the great reward for being at Blizzard? When would you have?
Some Blizzard pants. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's like what, 30 years?
30 years, Dills pants. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta wait for those.
All right. And on the other hand, GURPS Perfect Arrow, dime a dozen. Find them every day in your thing.
Actually, get them just as a visitor
salvage
gift.
Things.
Yeah.
I really had a hard time selling my extra ones. I did.
Yeah.
I went to the dude and I said, all right, I got to sell these. They're just taking up room in my storage. And I had like 5 of them. And I just sold them all.
I had a guy tweet me that someone was selling Sonorous shields for 30 gold.
What?
And I've never been so insulted. That's a small margin on what a vendor will pay. It is hurtful.
Yeah,
you're actually losing money putting those on the auction house because you got to pay the deposit.
That's
right. The problem. Exactly. No, they were doing it in trade publicly, even worse. So even if you weren't into buying it, you still found out about it.
Yeah.
Harsh.
That's about what my helmet cost to repair. Very, very impressive price you fetched there, Terpster. Nice work.
Exactly. Well, there you go. That's what once was a cool thing. That's what they'd say about me.
Not so much now. All right.
Not so much now.
Let's dive into the news. Okay, 6.2 landed. Let's talk a bit about it. There's a bunch of story and Tanaan invasion impression stuff that we could talk about, I suppose. I know that we've had various degrees of playing it. Terpster spent a lot of time with shipyards. I've spent most of my time playing through the new zone and doing the quest hubs and stuff that are there. Dills, have you even touched the PvP stuff? I know things have been kind of
not yet, and I really want to. But there's been a lot of griping about what's going on right now.
I'm afraid to go even near it because of all the griping, and I know they've hotfixed some stuff, but man, it's.
But don't you feel like I when I got to Tanaan, as soon as I set up my my little outpost, it kind of felt like don't forget about Ashran.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they give you a portal to Ashran right there.
Guys, honestly, if you want to do Ashran, you can. It's fine. At the moment, there's just this toxic group of people who keep playing it, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
But if you would like to go along, maybe enough of you go along, and it's not as bad.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's kind of what's going on. It's like, let's just get the people in there. So they have pared it down quite a bit, and now there's only 40 people on each side, so it's going to be a little more manageable as far as what's going on in each fight. But anytime there's going to be a bunch of big changes like this, it's going to be a little bit rocky, and that's just how it works. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to go in this weekend and do a bunch. I plan to play a lot more this weekend, so I will have by next week on this show, I will have a well-formed opinion about this.
Well, what do you guys think about... So, Corey, I brought this up with Corey because someone in the chat room asked it yesterday, and the question was, why can't we balance PvE content and classes within that content separate from balancing PvP content and those classes and their gear separately? Wasn't that how it was before, kind of? I mean,
no, they always wanted it so that when you pressed a button, it did the same thing, didn't they? So they didn't want it to be that,
Right.
They've altered numbers and things in the past, and things could just get a little bit confusing that way. I don't know if that's really feasible. Like, you got this set of skills that you can use in PvP and the set of skills you can use in PvE, and then they're completely separate. We can absolutely balance everything. To me, that makes the game a little bit funky, where you're literally playing two different games.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that's a solution that's really viable, even though people
But if you were
seem to think it really is.
Sure.
designing a PvP game now, you wouldn't build it like WoW.
Right.
No. Like think about the the really successful games where PvP is pretty much the only thing you do, and that's all the balance you have to worry about. And then say now you got to run outside and go fight some fake monsters.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't know why you
It's not gonna
can't
work.
have an expansion, like a PvP vehicle or something like that. If you could design something that was, and it doesn't have to be a vehicle, it can be a character, but something that has a limited skill set, like a MOBA, like you've got in Overwatch and Heroes, that you level up over the course of the expansion. So it's not like just having a pre-made, you still kind of have some attachment to it. Like, I don't see why they can't just take a new stab at PvP and separate it from the character and its gear and make it like a thing that you PvP via. Like, I would like to see that in terms of, for the Battlegrounds at least. Like, I'd love, when they were talking about the Dota Battleground,
Yeah.
like, if you could have that where you jumped into a hero who had a set of skills and you could play that, I mean, that'd be great fun. In WoW's
Sure.
engine, with the kind of characters they have at hand, you could argue why not go and play Heroes, and you probably should. But
Some of
it
us
kind
are.
of feels like, when you look back to the glory days of WoW PvP, which was probably before the introduction of the PvP system. So, when you had your Terran Mill kind of big old fights, it was around kind of choke points in the terrain or awkward positioning between Horde and Alliance that kind of just so happened to encourage you to cross paths and battles to emerge. And I don't think, Asheron's out by itself. You have to go there to fight. It was a conscious decision so that, it's only people who want to take part in it. But I don't know. It just doesn't feel... I don't know.
I think it's a really hard nut to crack, and he said as much yesterday, because when I asked him the question, he said, you have no idea how many years and ideas and thoughts go into how do we make this somehow function and work, these two things that are clearly at odds with one another, the PvP and the PvE aspects of the game, and try to make them be more cohesive is not easy. It's on the list
No,
of hard
absolutely
things, of the hardest things, perhaps. And I even remember, I mean, we all have short memories, but back in 04 when this game launched, it launched without any PvP, other than PvP, like, ganking on PvP servers. But there was
there was no reason to do it past just being a troll.
Exactly. You just
Sure.
troll people, but there was no actual PvP. And what happened was, and it's as clear today to me as it was then, there was an outcry, people freaking out. Why isn't this here? Warcraft's history and lore is based in PvP. These are RTS games that they're in their origins. Why aren't we taking advantage of that? I can't believe this is a Warcraft game without any player versus player. And like, there was just this giant freak out, even in 04 standards. And then they introduced it, and again, mixed results. Some people loved it, some people hated it. I feel like it's just going to be the eternal struggle. This is never going to end. Like, when will PvP be fixed? Probably never. It's just a battle. I don't know how.
Well, Halinka's in charge of it, so
He's got it. He's got this.
He's got it. I'm sure. Don't worry. Obviously, if you need any help, just give us a shout.
Right.
We obviously, Scott and I don't really PvP, and Dills does, but I feel like Scott and I's opinion is probably more valid because we don't PvP.
Sure.
So how do you make us PvP?
Well, this is the internet, right? We can say things about
I
subjects.
think
and
I
not
am
have
an
any-
expert because I have no experience whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, I like to criticize all sorts of things in life that I don't have any direct experience with. So
I like to get offended on behalf of people that I assume are offended by something.
right. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
you fit right in, dude. You've got, I don't know,
Exactly.
you got the
I think
memo
they're
or
going to
something.
make me kind of deputy in charge of PvP now.
You're going to be
Like,
knighted.
wow. We need someone like you on the team who can be offended on behalf of people who potentially might be offended, but you believe they should be offended if they're not offended.
Perfect. You've nailed
It's
it.
me.
Like I'll say this, like maybe it was a mistake putting it in, but I love PvP, and so I'm just gonna wait on them to make the changes that are coming. I'm not gonna sit here and bitch and moan like most people just go right into bitch and moan phase when something doesn't work exactly the way they like it.
Yeah.
But it's like I feel like they've got a good enough track record, and I know it's difficult, and I know that it hasn't been perfect, and probably never has been perfect. But it's not gonna be. It can't be perfect. You can't have both sides perfect. So, like, I'll get in there. I'll play it like this weekend, and I'll come back
Yeah,
with a report.
I'm curious.
on what I think is actually maybe wrong with it, because I can't look at some of these responses
Yeah.
and take them seriously at all.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
some of what people are saying, it's just like you're just whining, like you're just being a whiner right now.
the fact that you're getting in post all these hot fixes will be good because,
Yeah, sure.
and that's the other thing we talked about. I really do think that they benefited from the new file system because it's allowed them to be quicker with fixes and changes.
They can turn things around a lot more. Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
So they don't have to wait for a big patch, or people don't have to wait for downloads. Like it's a better world we live in for that stuff. And now it's just an issue of them chipping away. But yeah, I mean, you could say flying was a mistake, and now they have to deal with it. You could say a lot of things are a mistake, but now they have to deal with it. Let's deal
At least
with
they're
it.
trying stuff, man.
And if it's
you
not
know?
worth somebody's $15 to deal with it, I understand that too. I get it.
Sure.
If PvP was all you cared about and that's what your money was going toward every month, and you would rather that be the strongest thing and it's not working for you, don't pay Blizzard to have a terrible time.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely within your right is to not play the game anymore if you're not enjoying it. And it's, Blizzard's doing what they can to keep the game fresh and keep putting things in, and not everything's going to be a hit. Some are going to be misses. And I know I've seen a lot of the PvP streamers have kind of moved on and stopped playing WoW, or they've started playing PvE in WoW. But I'll tell you this, they've also struggled to find something else that has captured their attention.
Yeah.
Like WoW ever did,
Right.
And that's, I mean, you'll find though Blizzard has, they tried to build Titan to kill WoW. They had this kind of drive where they thought WoW won't live forever. Let's make the thing that kills it so that we have that, rather than let someone else do it.
Yeah.
And then they obviously found that didn't really pan out for them. But equally, I think they've carried that forward, though, with the other releases that they've made,
Sure.
where you've got Hearthstone and Heroes and, Overwatch coming, and they're all kind of just trying to provide immersive, massive entertainment so that
But they give you that
potentially-
singular experience, though. All of those games, they don't try to do everything.
No, exactly. And I think that's what they've discovered is that now let's make a PvP game, and let's make a Twitch game. Let's make a really slow and steady game. Let's try and find games for everyone rather than try and build a game that just appeals to everyone like WoW did when it was released.
Yeah, no, and WoW still is the game to me that has the most kind of universal appeal of pretty much like anything that I've played. I also think that there's a piece of them that goes, by now someone else should have come up with the WoW killer if it was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Like, if at some point WoW gets killed, it's not because some game came out.
Well,
It's
exactly.
because WoW just
Yeah.
went away on its own. Like
But if you
we've
look
gone
at Star
past
Wars,
the point.
Star Wars couldn't do it. Elder Scrolls couldn't do it.
Sure.
These are massive, massive IPs. I mean, Warcraft was a big IP,
WildStar,
but never
Rift.
been as big as that. Exactly. And then you've had other, lots and lots, hundreds of millions of dollars put into it, billions probably collectively across all of them. None of them can touch it. And so you can't fault Warcraft for being as tenacious as it is. And with the movie coming out next year, I just see a huge resurgence in terms of people who will discover and rediscover World of Warcraft off the back of that.
Yeah.
If there had been an Avatar MMO after seeing Avatar, I would have tried it because I was like, holy crap, this world looks amazing. Like these characters are great. This whole mythos and technology and whatever is really cool. Oh wait, I can get more of that. Amazing. If they had an Avatar book, I would have bought it. They probably have. I just don't know about it. But I think that the movie will be more transformative than anything else.
Yeah. And I just think MOBAs have done a thing to the up-and-coming generation of potential players of games where there's progression. They've kind of stolen a bit of the thunder that could have been WoW's or whoever WoW's superior could have been. I just think people have cooled on MMOs generally. So you don't see a lot of things being announced. Like E3 was void of big MMO
Yeah,
announcements.
that's pretty much. Yeah, they're now where there once was always a few on the horizon. Now there's basically nothing.
Star Wars.
Well, that's going, and that's true.
Yeah,
They had a big
it's still
thing
there.
for that, and that's doing well. But like Eve or
Had a
any
cool
of these
movie.
other, the Eve and these other games, they're fine, and there will always be these niches, which is great. I'm just saying, done are the days where somebody gets up on stage and wants to try to say we are going to be the next big thing in MMOs. I think the next big thing was, is, and will ever be WoW for a long time, and the future of MMOs may not look like this. It may look like a very different place with VR and something else. Like I feel like there's almost needs to be that kind of evolutionary
Mobile, definitely.
or revolutionary jump in some way to take it out of what we think of it as with hotkeys and a third person perspective and a town to go turn your stuff into. Like we've just done that so much that whatever's next is way more next than this.
I think we're just at a place now where look, we've got PvP, we've got PvE. Neither one is going away to suddenly make the other one perfect. That's just not an option,
right?
And it never will be. So we're just gonna have to deal with what we've done, with what we've created here, and just try to do the best we can with it. And when they make changes, they're trying to make changes for the better. It's not always going to hit exactly
I've
like
got the
everybody wants.
solution.
That's the
It's
thing.
just come to me.
Whoa, hold on. Epiphany.
Tips is gonna. Do you sure you want to just give this out?
I'm
Like,
going
on
to
the
give it
show?
out for free.
Hold on, I got Epiphany music for you. Hold
You ready?
Hold on,
Yeah.
here it is. Where is it? Here we go. All right, go.
Well, I'm inspired.
Time walking. Okay.
Okay.
Whoa,
We go back
no.
to how it was.
Hold on.
Because nostalgia dictates that it was always better in the past.
Ah,
So you're
well,
saying,
so-
like, give us a mode where we can go back to older, like maybe like 5-mans or something.
No,
Go
for
back
PvP.
to those?
I'm just saying.
Oh,
like,
time walking
so
PvP.
Exactly. People are like, oh man, Wintergrass was so much better than that. We just time walk back to Northrend. What's that? The stone vault is on your side. Wow. Time walking.
Yeah, time
All
walking.
right.
It's a thing. All of the dungeons drop.
Anytime anyone complains, and then you say like, okay, fine. Well, we'll go back to how it was.
I hate to tell you this. It's in the game now. It's part of the patch. So I love your idea. I think it's a brilliant
Really?
one. But clearly, like anything on the internet these days, if someone else thought of it first,
Someone
turns
else thought of
out
it.
Blizzard did in this
Damn it.
case. So
God
sorry.
damn it.
Yeah.
All
In
the
fact,
dungeons.
I could queue for a random time walking dungeon right now if I wanted.
Yeah,
to.
as
No,
it
but
turns out.
I'm saying time walking battlegrounds and PvP. Can you do that?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
you can go back and do winter. Like you technically can. You can go over there.
But it's not scaled.
Get
It's
in
not
the queue.
scaled. Exactly.
No. Well,
And
yeah.
what I'd say, guys, you know how we always said there was going to be flying machines in Wintergrass,
Yeah.
and everyone got upset because there weren't. Okay.
Yeah, they did
Now, thanks to technology, we're going to make it happen, time walking style. And
Right.
then here's the twist: you don't. Okay, you leave it broken. You make the same promise
Sure.
twice
Yeah.
and don't deliver on it, and then
Love
people
it.
are still like they can't believe that they fell for it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shame on me. How'd it
Bam.
go? Fool me
Yeah.
once, shame on you.
Full George Bush on them. Can't be fooled again.
I just realized I was doing the exact same thing he did.
yeah, it's good.
That's really
you got a
good.
saying back here in Utah. Well, it's in Salt Lake somewhere. Fool me once, can't be fooled again.
Yeah, that's it. I miss his.
Have you heard the
ridiculousness.
theory on that? By the way,
No.
this is maybe just a Reddit theory.
No, what is
but
it?
that he knows the quote.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to release a soundbite of him saying "shame on me,"
Really?
because then everybody would like jump on that and use it.
Well, I know those guys are paranoid about stuff like that. Like,
Sure,
You know.
like he started into it,
I
then he was
can't
like,
imagine it's that quick though.
Yeah.
I
You don't
can't
think so?
imagine Bush's synapses.
he's a
firing
smart
quick.
guy. I mean, he's a dumb guy, but
well,
he's a smart guy too. You
No,
don't
I mean,
become
a
the
lot of
president
them-
by not being a
Yeah.
smart guy.
Right.
No,
You
you,
know what
have
I mean?
friends who are at Enron and stuff like that. Yeah,
That helps.
yeah.
But I don't know. I give him credit for at least having like a normal and human intelligence.
And I mean, the thing is, what I love though is that Americans looked at the British Empire and they thought, "Hang on, what? You've just got this hereditary king
Yeah.
that just like his son then rules in his stead.
Uh-huh.
What's that about?"
Yeah, we do
Sounds
it
so
with
much easier.
we
huh?
do it. We do it with
Senior
Kennedy's.
said to Bush Jr.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not. It's not a new thing here though.
Let's
Yeah,
not worry about that.
you had the Roosevelts. That was a major dynasty there.
Exactly.
You had the
Yeah.
Kennedys. You have the Bushes. Unfortunately,
Exactly.
Jeb's
And
probably going to run.
hopefully we'll see the Clintons just to really polish it off.
Yeah.
Just to say, America, we get it, okay? Having this hereditary passing down of power, that's not right.
Well,
is it?
no, but now apparently like Bill's passing it sexually. Now this is a
Well,
different.
exactly.
This is a new version of
He was like
sexually
"Heck,
transmitted power.
These kings back in England, they got to do everything.
STPs that you're talking about.
STP,
The
yeah,
STPs.
STP,
All
yeah,
right.
or otherwise known as Stone Temple Pilots.
And
But
thus endeth the
similar.
political section of the show today.
We're doing all Blizzard news and then segues into
segues
isn't it
into
weird?
Into 10 years ago
Journey for the
politics.
White House
Exactly.
2016.
660 loot will drop in these time walking dungeons. Terpster brought up. Bosses will yield loot appropriate for players' natural level. So it doesn't matter where you are. I think you have to be 72 or higher, something weird like
yeah,
that.
you pretty much have to be like high enough to actually have done them, essentially.
Right back when BC mattered, or whatever the levels were for those dungeons. But it'll scale for you. That's cool loot. It's some
So
nice
what
catch
dungeons
up.
are currently available for time walking?
You have the Burning Crusade dungeons, the Alcatraz,
Yeah, I think it's just BC stuff. There's like 5 of them.
so
the Alcatraz, the
Caverns of
Black
Time?
Morass, Mana Tomb, Shattered Halls, and
the
Slave
Black
Pens.
Morass was Caverns of Time, yeah?
It was in
So
Caverns
are
of
we
Time.
are we time traveling to time travel?
Yeah, pretty much. This is time travel and time
Whoa.
travelception.
Holy shit! I didn't think about
That's
that.
amazing. That's cool.
Somewhere
That's
above
like
us,
exhibits like, yo, dog, heard you like time travel.
somewhere
like, oh,
somewhere
wow.
above us, a big van is slowly making its way into a river.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Dave.
I loved
I bet they
Manitoons.
should do a bit in Black Morass where he turns around and says, only $10 for my face in Hearthstone. And you're like, oh, what? They've
Cross
added new
promotion.
stuff to it.
That would be
Yeah.
great. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
if they made references like that, that would be wonderful. I love Manitoons, and I was a big fan of Shattered Hall, so I'm kind of excited about those.
I liked those, but then I ran them too much trying to get Sethic halls, at least, for the Raven Mount. So then I kind of just, I don't like
Get
it.
a little burned out there in
But maybe I like it now because it's, harder.
Sure.
Difficult.
You can use old legendary weapons in time walking dungeons. So pull out your glaives.
Oh, they
and your,
scale up, do they?
They sure do. Yeah.
Oh, my Thunder Fury.
Or
Amazing.
or down. Like if you had the glaives from Illidan, they'd scale down from Black Temple to work in the Manitoons
amazing.
or whatever. Yeah,
I
that's
like
pretty
that
cool.
a lot. Good plan.
That's pretty good. My favorite thing about this patch is probably the adventure journal. It's awesome. I think they've needed this for a
I
long
do
time.
like it. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of times where, and maybe they listened to the show where we said we logged in and we were like,
the
what
hell
should I do?
Yeah, I don't know what to do here.
I don't know what to do right now. And now there's just something I can open up and, hey,
See,
okay, I'll do
I
this.
think it's cool, but I'd like it to be a little bit more like Krabby, the Clippy thing.
yeah.
It's all like, hey, looks like you're spending a lot of time in your garrison.
Yeah.
How about you go out into the real world?
That'd
The
be
problem
alright.
is it's just stuck in the bottom bar. I want it to do stuff for me.
Would you
want
want
it
it to
to come up
have?
with
Pop open for you and stuff.
Yeah, well, just like little notifications, maybe saying like, oh,
Sure.
some of your friends have just done this. You should join them.
Here,
Well, there
let's
you go.
see what it
That's maybe
says.
the next,
You-
iteration.
You
can be
log
something
in,
like
there's the little crab, and it says, hi, or I say, I don't know which faction I'd like to join, and it says,
Horde side.
see, it even have Greg's
Yep.
voice, little Greg's,
Greg's voice
there.
just doing it.
Yeah, I
And
like
that causes massive imbalance as a legion of new people all roll Horde.
And he's
Thusly, the Horde becomes the noob faction,
yeah. It would
and you kill the Horde.
it would be weird hiring him for all your voice work too, because he's at
That would be
Riot
good.
Games.
No, I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're still friends.
I'm 100% sure they are, but boy, you got to wonder. Could you have a guy like Greg come back and do anything? I don't think they'd ever do that.
I think as long as he joined the Screen Actors Guild, he'd be allowed to do the
Hmm. All
voices.
right,
I
fair
think
enough.
that'd
I like that. You can finally finish your ring quest. So that's the thing we
Ooh.
knew was coming.
be great. Inquest for the Wing Quest.
Yeah, that's right. 6.2 also has 26 new pets, 20 mounts, 18 new toys, new heirlooms, including intellect
So
plate.
when did you finish the legendary quest in Pandaria? Wasn't that in the last patch with Garrosh?
Yeah. Oh, so
why
you're
are we
still
finishing
have
it
this.
now?
You still have
It
this
worries
theory.
me, Scott.
Yeah,
It
you,
worries
You
me.
really think that this is the last?
I
patch that we're
don't
gonna
want
get?
it to be, and I think
Yeah.
it shouldn't be.
It would be the
because-
quickest expansion in the
exactly.
history of this
Now
game.
that's the thing. So if then at Gamescom they turn around and say, "Yeah, we're not announcing a new D3, we're announcing a new WoW expansion, and it's going to be out the week after BlizzCon," or something to that effect, then wow, okay, I'm on board.
right.
But obviously, they've always said they wanted to do these quicker, and they've never done them quicker. But the Team 2 has also never been bigger. So either they're building the next expansion and polishing it and iterating it and blizzarding the heck out of it beyond what they probably need to, or we're getting it sooner.
Could be.
Or there's another patch.
Could be. There are theories all over the place, but the prominent one is that there will be a 6.4 or a 6.3.5.
Really?
Yeah, so that there's more than even just this next one. So I don't know what. There's a lot of convoluted reasons why people think that's true, story-wise and otherwise. But
I think
It's
Ashara next expansion.
you think so?
Yeah.
Maybe.
And we probably won't hear about it till BlizzCon, but I'd like to hear about it.
Also, it's important to note 6.2 did not include the. This is not the flying patch, but 6.2X will include the flying patch, and that should be probably the very next thing they put in. But you have
We've
time
got time
now.
now to wrap up with all the new dudes.
Exactly, and that
Mm-hmm.
adventure journal is great for that, by the way, because it tells you all the crap you can be doing in any given zone, and a lot of that stuff is right alongside that.
But what I'd
achievement.
like to do though is I'd like to tick saying I'd like to be able to fly, and then it should say, okay, well in 6.2.x.
Yeah, here's what you got to do to
These
get
are the things you
flying.
need to do. Here's your kind of task list,
Right.
and then it populates. There's so much more you could do with it.
But
And
you'd
I
have to
know
do
this
it for everything, though. You'd have to say.
But why not? Exactly.
Well,
If they
yeah,
know,
I guess.
you could have them user created, and you could just have a list of like things to do in WoW, and it might be like, oh, I'd really like to have that cool trinket that turns you into a thing. Oh, well, for that you've got to complete the following objectives. We recommend you start here. There's guides all over Wowhead as to how to do stuff.
Right.
If they put those in game and stopped being so insistent on controlling every tiny facet of everything, if they just let it and opened it up to the community to create content and story or tasks or something, that would change this game beyond anything.
Right.
And that would be amazing.
Yeah, I kind of agree. But I do
I like GURPS Scenic Tour of Thousand Needles.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, go to this place. If you look down, look, there's a dead
and
tour in
the
there.
nice thing too
There'd
is
definitely be some trolling ones.
well, of course there would
Yeah.
be, but they
But
wouldn't
then
have
you get them
to.
voted up and down like Reddit.
Right, and they wouldn't have to do the work. Like Blizzard would just give you the mechanism, and I can guarantee
Exactly.
1,000 billion people would step up
All right,
to the
Blizzard,
plate.
put Reddit into the game.
Oh, good lord,
Why
dude!
not?
Now that you say it, now that
So
Dill says it that way, I'm a little frightened. By the way,
No,
that
but
sounds.
that's it. So you put it in,
Yeah.
you give them limited tools in terms of like waypoints or quests or zone markers.
Yeah, but then
so you
they'll-
can't just write some hateful, hate
So you
speech.
can't go in there and talk about,
But for example,
Pee fetishes.
you
Well,
can't do
exactly.
Kotaku in action inside of World of Warcraft.
But you could have, for example, do you want to get, classic warrior armor set? Okay, well, you've got to go to Scholarmancer. You've got to take out this guy. You've got to go to Strathom,
Sure.
kill that guy.
Yeah.
But it presents it to you in like a checklist or something like that. And so then it will show you can basically set your own in-game achieves or notifications. That is what the Adventure Journal should do.
Yeah, but what if it says, okay, just go with me here. It says, step
Yep.
1, go to this dungeon. Step 2, kill this boss. Step 3, pick up his remains. Step 4, I like it when ladies pee on me.
But that's the thing, you don't let them do that. You let people pick from a context menu. So you don't have the ability to put in about liking ladies pee on you, unless I imagine there would
Unless
be
that's
a
in the
load
game
of
somewhere.
Blessed
It's
Thunder
probably
Fury,
in the game somewhere.
There would be Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker a million times, followed by Dirge. But past that, you could do it, and you just, keep running this. This is the drop chance. I don't know. I just think it would be fun to have the ability, and then to help new players. Like literally, then you don't have a tutorial. It's in game. It's just like,
I'll give
hey,
you this,
start-
Turfster. What
Go
you're
do this.
describing is super cool.
It'll
And
never happen.
also super difficult to program. And probably never going to happen.
Yeah,
But yes,
yeah.
I agree that it would be awesome.
I
though.
agree too.
I reckon if they can make selfies in WoW, they can do this.
This is the same thing that I'm doing on our little Hearthstone podcast, where I'm like, give me a sandbox mode.
Yeah.
Give me a mode where I can go in and say, okay, each person has 70 health, and each person gets to select from priest, warlock, and mage cards as
But
well
they
as
can't
whatever.
do
and
that
give, you know,
because that then means that they can't charge us for those things later on, like a
Sure.
mode when you play that. Whereas this doesn't take away anything. This is just basically putting in things.
no, I know,
like-
but we're both
Okay.
asking for things that are actually kind of incredibly hard to make.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think so. I would make this on a weekend, but I'm busy, so
Oh,
I'm
okay.
asking Blizzard to do it on my behalf.
Yeah.
Because again, what are they up to at the moment?
Yeah,
They're
nothing,
putting
right?
flying back in the game, or aren't they? I
Making
don't know.
selfie
I know.
cams, exactly.
Yeah, if I didn't have to do the 18 on Sunday, then yeah,
I know what the next thing's going to be from them. Let's not lie. It's going to be 6.3 selfie stick update,
Oh,
and the selfie
good
camera
Lord.
now is further
Now
away
has a
from
stick.
your character.
Please
It's now got a
don't.
stick.
Please don't.
You know,
Can't use
and
it at
that's-
Disneyland though.
Exactly. No, exactly. You're not going to be allowed at Disneyland, and that's obviously that will get patched into 6.3x because everyone will complain
Yeah.
about whoa, what the hell, Blizzard can't use it, and they're like, sorry, there's some bugs we have to fix.
Yeah.
But I think that would make the Adventure Journal something Blizzard.
So
this feels like
much more.
something
Right.
game company made.
Sure.
It doesn't feel like something Blizzard made.
Right. I'm with you.
There you go.
I think I'm with you. And also, one final note before we move on: Master Plan got updated, so now everyone can comfortably use their garrisons again. Because man, is that a slog if you don't have Master Plan? Whoo! When you got like
have you noticed? So like the ship stuff doesn't really work with it yet, right?
No, the update. Well, I haven't tested the latest update, but as far as I know, no, because it's got that whole drag and drop ship.
You got to
thing
drag
going
and
on.
drop ships, but
Yeah.
you know, I feel like they're gonna have that fixed pretty
Yeah,
soon. or
someone will
updated.
figure
Someone
that
will
out.
have a yeah.
I've tried Garrison Mission Manager as well, and Garrison Commander, and there's a couple of different ones out there.
Yeah.
Master Plan though is still really good.
Still really good, yeah. And it was a bit of work to catch up, but he got it, and now it's fine. So you can go check your missions. It's not a nightmare anymore. Let's see here. Let's talk about some Hearthstone stuff. What's this banana brawl thing happening? Is this part of the Tavern's Brawl?
Have you done any of the brawls yet?
I haven't even touched the brawls.
Before
Why? You get a free pack for just doing it.
Oh,
It
really?
is constructed with
You need to
bananas.
get in there, dude.
Play
All
Tempo
right.
Mage and
All
you'll
right.
win.
Okay.
Right, I have some very, very important news.
Oh, beep, 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 beep. Wait, hold on. I got a new theme for your breaking news. Here's a new one.
Okay,
Here you
here we
go.
This festive season, make sure you're shopping at Frog Pants. I went 12 wins in Arena for my first ever time.
Yeah.
I finally did it.
Nice. All right, what class did you?
It was
did you play?
Paladin. I had
Of course.
3 True Silver Champions.
Of course.
4 Blessings of Kings. And my favorite win was a Blessing of King, Blessed Champion on a Raging Worgen. And I basically
And then
one
you
shot
swung twice.
It
Yes.
was exactly.
Alright.
It was just something else.
So the verdict
yeah.
on that's great, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
The verdict on this Tavern Brawl thing, it seemed like there was a lot of speculation leading in, and now everyone loves it. Am I hearing that right? From
No, everyone loves it.
no.
I'm underwhelmed. I'll say that.
yeah,
No.
yeah, exactly.
And that's fine because I think it's still a really cool thing. There's lots, and it's something that people can look forward to every week, and I like that. And there's different. It's going to change every week, and I think that's cool. However, we're always going to be stuck with whatever they give us that week.
Is
and
it always going to
so-
be free?
Well, they said it's going to be free. I'd never heard anything about always, but they said it's free. The reward is a pack, which is it's great. It's an original pack too. It's a classic pack, so it's great for new players who Arena just gives you GVG packs now. So to get classic packs was a little bit tough without paying money. So it does actually I was able to get some classic packs on my EU account, which was a free to play account. So that's all really great and that's all really good. But it is a little I'm not finding very much replayability with it so far. I log in, I play 5 to 6 games of it, and then I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
This week has been a little bit better because you can actually try out some different stuff. So Tempo Mage is, like Terpster said, is clearly the best because essentially every time one of your guys dies, you get a banana card,
spell.
which does something. And it's a spell. Yeah. And then also Mage has things like Sorcerer's Apprentice, which is a 2 mana card is a 3/2, and it makes all your spells cost 1 less. So then all the bananas become free. So there's a lot of things you can do with Mage.
Get
that
2
isn't
Flame
free.
Wakers on the board with
Yeah.
a Sorcerer's Apprentice.
And then cast
you
8
can
bananas.
exactly. Then you can 1-turn kill. Archmage Antonidas. You just get infinite fireballs.
You turn all your bananas into fireballs. Yeah,
And
it's-
also mana worms just become super OP.
Sure.
And it is a bit RNG because if you get a load of deviant bananas, they're just not as good. But still, there's ways around it.
But
what
I also
don't
found
like
there's
about
other
this
cool
week,
things though. Have you tried Warrior Charge Mana Addict?
No.
OTK?
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that working.
That one's
yeah.
pretty fun. And then of course Zoo is pretty good because you just play so many creatures and you just get a lot of bananas and buff them all. So there's other ways to do it, but then people are playing Face Hunter because they just ignore your board and
exactly.
Just
That's the way I won first. Was I just thought I'd just make a Face Hunter, and it does work.
Sure.
The problem I said first week I really enjoyed it because it felt like Planeswalkers. It felt like Magic the Gathering, where you have just these super OP cards and everything's crazy, and it feels like, oh man, this is something special. This week feels like constructed with like an added
constructed with bananas,
and that's what it is. And that to me just doesn't feel as inspiring. And I think I would be okay with it were it not for the fact that it tracks your wins, which to me then says that they're saying like, hey, yeah, play it again. And I'm like, well, I don't think I want to play it again.
Sure.
And it just doesn't
right
feel
now
like
it doesn't do anything. How many wins you get?
exactly, and that's it. It feels pointless.
Yeah.
And that's so I'd say take the counter out. It doesn't track how many wins I have on heroic modes in adventures or in adventures in any way. And this feels like just an adventure, but it gives me a pack. And it's like, I came away from getting 12 wins in my arena and got, what I get? I got like 260 gold.
Yeah, you get a lot of rewards.
2
for
gold
that,
cards. Well, it was okay. But even then, I kind of feel like I doubt I'm going to do that again, or at least not anytime soon. I would have loved a card back or something. If they, card backs for everything
Well,
nowadays.
they don't have, which is kind of weird. And you're bringing up an interesting thing too, is that for arena players, your reward is basically the cards, the dust, the gold. But for getting 12 wins, like if you go to Legend and Constructed, you get a card back, and you're a legendary player now. 12 wins is kind of the legend for arena, right? Like that is the top of that's the most you can get. But you get no special reward. Not only that, but your wins don't count towards your golden characters. So there's like kind of a lack of fun rewarding rewards outside of just like increasing your card pool, right?
But that's why I kind of feel like card backs are accepted as like they're a cool thing to have and to work towards, and it's nice to have them. And Blizzard have said already, we don't expect you to be able to get them all because, hey, we've signed a deal with Samsung. You're going to get one if you have a Galaxy phone. It's like, oh, yay. But I kind of feel like there should be more because they're not that hard. The community make a load of them and they look great. But also an artist, it shouldn't take that long to make a card. So making them for brawls and getting 10 consecutive brawl wins.
So I would like that, because I would play more if they said if you get 20 wins, whatever, during this brawl, then you get this special brawl card back or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be awesome.
Like a banana-themed card back. That'd be really cool. And I would go through this mode and try it out different ways and try and find fun. But for me, it's just like I played it like 3-4 times, and that was enough for me.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people are going in and they're playing once to get their pack, and once they get their win, they're out and they don't go back to it. And to me, that's why I feel like it's underwhelming, because if you really made like a fantastic new feature, it would be something that I would just want to play. And I feel like this kind of a sandboxy tournament lobby type thing, which is what I was kind of envisioning, was something that was going to have a ton of replay value for me. And this kind of hasn't done that. And I've got a lot of grief for it on the Angry Chicken because, I'm crapping all over the tavern brawls apparently, even though I'm just giving like an honest opinion that's actually I think kind of not super in either direction. And everyone's going like, oh, stop like being so negative about brawls. And I'm like,
but I think Hearthstone is very, very guilty for this, in that Hearthstone drip feeds content, and that content is never enough, and I don't know if it ever can be enough. I think there's ways to, like, again, by adding some form of reward for replayability, like with adventure modes, they give you a wing a week, and that wing will last you an hour, and so for the rest of that week it's like, well, play something else, do some constructed, do some arena, and it's like, but you've spent a lot of time making this arena, this adventure. Maybe if you just added in some other meta achievement or something, then there's more game that could be had and could be, if people want to play more of that, then they don't necessarily just, go up against nothing.
They're lords of progression. They understand it better than anyone, and it's always surprising to me to hear that a new feature in any of their games
lacks progression.
Lacks that,
yeah. It is a little bit weird because, but also, Team 5 is separated from the rest. Like they're not necessarily all coming from the same, like they're the same company, and yes, there's obviously some crossover, but these guys are making a card game. Card games generally tend to work completely differently, but I do think that they could benefit quite a bit from taking some of the historically successful things Blizzard has done with progression and apply them to a card game. And that's, I think, what they're missing in some of this stuff. Yeah. So it's cool to hear that you kind of agree with me, Terpster, because look, you, I think when you first started playing, were maybe more in the casual boat, but the guy who played a lot, like the guy who played casually a lot, right?
Yeah.
And that to me is like what, like some people are making the argument that I don't understand why Tavern Brawl is so great because I'm not casual enough. And, I think I'm actually fairly casual at this game. I think I like to play like weird fun decks. I like to do all kinds of stuff. Yes, I play it a lot and keep up with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but anybody who's seen your stream knows that you're not like...
No, I'm not in there try-harding every single night, and I'm not trying to like just grind to legend just for the sake of that or whatever. Like, I'm not trying to do any of that stuff.
Right.
I'd say I'm a fairly casual player, and I was underwhelmed with this stuff.
Sure.
And so, I think that some people are thinking that being underwhelmed with this feature means that you're just like some like anti-casual guy who's trying to ruin everyone else's fun.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just, this is just my opinion about the whole thing. Yeah,
Sure.
it's just
Well, the night you 3-booted was really special.
see that was I try hard about that one. Yeah, I roped every turn getting those third boots.
Yeah, that was weirdly satisfying to watch. There's also that card back mount is in Heroes now, so if you had 100 wins,
which is the coolest mount
it's pretty,
ever.
it's pretty
That is
awesome.
really cool.
It's great.
By the way, you get this is if you can't get
And why is that
Legend
not in WoW?
Hearthstone. Yeah, I know, right? But if you can't get Legend in Hearthstone, you can get Legend in Heroes.
Yeah.
By just getting to level 9 with whatever hero you're using that mount with.
Correct.
Because then you get to use that Legend skin. So.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
It's really cool. And if you've unlocked all your tints for whatever hero you're playing, let's say I'm playing Thrall at level 12, the tints aren't just color changes to the card, it's actual changes to the back.
Yeah, it
so,
changes the card back, yeah.
So you get the Pandaria one, you get the Nexus one, and you get I forget the other one. Crap.
It's the Legend one is the last.
Is that the last one? Yeah.
You get like the basic card back is the first one. So it's like the actual first card back you ever get in Hearthstone.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one is I think it is the Pandaria one maybe. I can't remember.
Something like
now.
that.
But then the third one is the Legend card back. Like that's what you get for getting Legendary.
Watching like a Nubarak fly around on that thing, or whoever it was I saw the other
That's
day.
what I've been playing a lot. By the way, Scott, we got to get some practice in, man.
Yeah, I know. We got teams. Oh, by the way, I'm told. So this just in for Heroes update. Boop boop. The our Heroes of the Pants tournament now has 4, maybe 3 team slots left. So if you were dragging your feet and you thought, I got plenty of time, turns out you don't. You got to get in now. So our team slots are filling up. We're going with 32 for this initial tournament. It's all for fun, all for good times. All the prizes, all the stuff's listed up on the site. All the rules. Just go to frogpants.com/heropants and get your team in there, team captains, because that's your job. And we're about full up. My guess is by the end of today we'll have all the teams we need and we're off to the races. So anyway, looking forward to that.
I was like rank 44 or something like that in Hero League.
Yeah.
And then I went on like an 8 or 9 game win streak, and I'm at like the low 30s now.
Oh my lord, yeah.
Yeah, all I've been doing is because I figured for the tournament I'll probably be playing tanks.
Yeah.
Because I know you like to assassin people.
I do like to assassinate people, yes.
And so I was like, I'll play. And I know, like, Eric likes to play weird Abathur stuff.
He does, dude.
So I was like, all right, I'll play tanks. So I'll get like some Anubarak, some ETC or whatever. And as soon as I switch to just tanking,
Yeah.
like we just win. Like I'm just better at that.
That's
Apparently.
great. That sounds good for our team's chances. I'm
Sure.
excited. So
All I gotta do is get in front of everybody and keep them alive, and then they kill people.
I have a Vala build right now that just, oh my gosh, I freaking love it. I can't stop playing
Yeah,
it.
Ball is amazing.
Malthael's Phantom Mount has been data mined in Heroes of the Storm, and it's all part of this Heroes Diablo event thing. It was actually previewed in a video for some skins a while back, so we kind of had seen it, but
And
it was
yet still no Deckard Cain.
yeah, no Deckard Cain. Although he narrates that whole new map. That's his
He
voice.
really needs to be like this would be the time to add him, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they're doing all this.
Look, when they get done with the monks, so they go Butcher, then they go freaking King Leoric, and then after that there's the monk who's the first healing class in that group.
Mm-hmm.
They've got room for one more, I think. That means 3 total heroes for a 3-month event. Put Deckard Cain in there. And I think they're holding him. I really do. I think he's
so
coming,
sweet.
man. If it's not him, it'll be like Malthael or something. Who knows?
Well, no, I'm pretty sure we know he is coming. Like that, there was actually like people knew, like their data mine, that he was one of the heroes that was in the works, but we just
Deckard
haven't
Cain
heard
or-
anything about like when.
Deckard Cain or Death?
Deckard Cain.
Oh, good. Well,
Oh,
that's-
really?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Stay a while and
There we
listen.
go.
Boop. Stuns everybody for 2 seconds.
That would be good. Wow.
I'm wondering like what he's gonna do though. Like, is he gonna like buff everybody
Leia,
else?
come
Or...
sit on my knee. And it's like, oh, creepy Uncle Deckard. Oh, I'm not sure about that.
Diablo fans should be excited. Patch 2.3 has big stuff. A new area called the Runes of Sescheron, or something like Sescheron, I think you say it. Unique quest, bounties, NPCs, enemies, and lore. The new feature I'm most excited about is this Kanai's Cube, or Kanai, I'm not sure how you say it. It's this unique way of storing and equipping legendary fixes. Basically, it's supposed to be the progenitor of the Herodric Cube from Diablo 2.
Oh, wow.
And lets you take like legendary items, break them down into their component parts, and use some of that stuff for like passive abilities that you can swap in and out for your character. It will also let you convert certain crafting materials to other kinds you don't have enough of. a bunch of features and functions that we won't get into here, but it looks pretty rad and like kind of a major addition to the game. So if you're getting your Diablo 3 itch on, that might be a thing to do. They've removed trial rifts in this patch.
So you just start at 1 now or something?
I think it's just level based. So like a regular rift would be, and whatever torment you set, that's where you go. I don't know how the timer works though. So that's a big question. I guess I could get on the PTR and figure it out. But Greater and Nephilim rifts no longer require keys. Bounties, great source of gold, materials, and recipes.
So wait, you can just do as many of those as you want now?
Basically
you
don't
have
need
to go
keys.
do bounties and stuff to earn enough. Okay.
Which is good in a way, because some of these characters you've got that are either lower level or are just hit 70 or something, and you may not have a ton of keys.
Sure.
Just nice to get in there and do it, because I prefer rifts personally. I really like
I do
them.
too, but the bounties, like it was kind of a nice way to just kind of force you to just get back into that other stuff, and then the cash that you would get at the end would actually be like have some good stuff in it.
Well, and that's why they're saying, I mean, still legendaries and stuff will pop out of that, but they're saying here that the bounties will continue to be and will be a greater source of gold, materials, and recipes. So you're going to find more of that kind of thing with bounties. I kind of like that idea of bounties are for this, rifts are for just going, just go. Yeah. So it's an interesting move. And they didn't talk much about how Kanai's cube will be acquired, if this is a quest thing, if it's a drop, like we don't know. New torment levels, they go up to torment 10 now, so no more 6 is the cap, and you work your way all the way up to 10. So for crazy people like Deadmau5, he's got his work cut out for him. And then they've revamped a bunch of old sets and skills and some other stuff, so looking real good. I think the fact that they are still supporting that game with major patch releases is interesting, given that it's a buy once game and it's expansion. They don't really have a monetary monthly reason to keep adding things, but they do. So
I'm still like, when I play that game, I'm still a little bit lost about like, so when, because I'm all decked out with legendary stuff on my season 3 character, right?
Yeah.
And he's doing pretty well, but I'm like, okay, so now I increase to the next torment. What am I getting here? Like, what am I getting beyond what I already have? Like, I guess it's someone who just doesn't really done a bunch of research about all that stuff. I'm just not sure. Like, when I get a legendary item, I'm like, so why is this one better that I got from Torment 2 over my Torment 1?
Right.
Or is it necessarily better?
Right.
Or, I don't know.
Right. Some of that stuff's confusing.
Yeah. Like, how do you know? Do you just kind of just gather as much as you can and then look it over and make some decisions?
Usually how I do it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
sure. I guess I'm doing it right.
But you're bringing up a good point. Like, maybe there's a better way to do that. And
I just feel like it's not obvious to me that like the piece of gear I got from Torment 2 is better than the legendary I got when I was just on like hard.
Right. Or sometimes you get a piece of gear that's got way better stats on it, but some of the other effects that it contains may actually equal better results if you use the one with way lower stats, but because it has these procs, they do crazy new damage, or they do all this other interesting stuff, and it may be better to use that, but there's no way to really gauge it, I guess.
Sure.
Other than say, well, that rift was harder than the last one, or that was easier on that same torment level than it would have been without it, or you have to just kind of play with it. And maybe that's what they intend.
Like, I understand, like, if I get a set of things and I build to work within that set, like that means I'm doing something better than I was before. But when you just got a bunch of like orange pieces, and you're just trying to figure out which one is better, that's always a little bit tough for me.
Find the green one.
Find the green one, yeah. But see, then you need the other green ones. Then it's like a whole new can of worms. Now I gotta go find whichever,
Yeah.
Where are all the rest of these green ones? It's just weird.
It gets tricky. But I like the idea of this new cube letting me do something more than just trashing for mats the existing legendaries and actually
what I've started doing because of this is I've just started saving all the legendaries until I need mats or whatever for crafting them. But essentially I just made a bank tab that's just a bunch of legendaries. So anytime I can just go over there and just like mouse over them all and be like, okay, is this one better? Is this one better?
Yeah.
And kind of figure it out later.
It's a good way to do it.
Like, I'll decide later if this is good or not.
There's a bunch of crap online to help with that too, but I think you're right. There should be maybe a better way, and maybe that's a challenge for them that they're working on. I don't know, but I'm very excited to see that game.
There's no like eye levels, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I can't tell like if this legendary is a higher quality legendary just in general.
It'd be nice if even the tooltip would say, yeah, these stats aren't as good as the one you have equipped, but this proc is, when it does happen every 8 seconds, is going to change your life.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want them to make it like automatic, but I would like a little bit more, like easily digestible information that helps me make determinations. Like I feel like right now that it's just you got to pour over numbers
Yeah.
to figure it out.
Just think what that would be like in real life. Your storage would be just this box full of swords, and you got to figure out which one matters.
Yeah, it can be a little rough.
Yeah.
It's just a daunting task whenever I'm going through all my equipment.
Loot games, still the challenge. Overwatch, Bastion gameplay video looked great. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's about 7.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I think that may be a character I play a lot.
He was the best one at BlizzCon, definitely.
Did you try him there? Did you get hands on with
Yeah,
it?
loved him.
What'd you think of I mean, because his strategy seems to be he's okay with his gun and he's a little slow, but you get him in a corner where he's somewhat well protected.
Yeah.
And then he turns into a turret and can just tear everybody a new hole. But he seemed a little OP at
Farah
BlizzCon.
can still her range is greater than his, so you can still kind of play around him. But yeah, he's pretty much amazing.
I can't wait, man. So we don't have any updated predictions on when we're going to get the damn beta, do we?
Well, I think fall is what they've said, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have they?
So
Closed beta, right?
I guess I don't. Well, I'm assuming. Yeah.
I'm assuming.
But no, they said. What did they say? Just beta.
Well, the further we get along in the year, the less my.
But they said this year, didn't they?
They did say
Yeah,
this
yeah,
year.
it's this year. That's
Yeah,
what
I
we
just don't
heard.
know if that's open beta this year. I can't remember now what they said. Or maybe it was closed beta in July, open beta at end of the year. Is that what I heard? Or am I wishful thinking here? Could be. I don't know. Either way, bring that game. It needs to be out now. It looks great. Looks finished.
As all Blizzard games always do.
It looks it's beautiful. I cannot wait to play that. We're going to skip calls today because we went a little long. But, man, what a show. What a bunch of things to talk about and think about. I'm really, Dills, just to reiterate, I'm super stoked for you to come back with the PvP report. You know, people are always like, you guys don't play enough PvP, but Dills is the exception to the general rule, and we'll have plenty to say, I'm sure. So,
But equally,
the issue for me lately has just been that there's not much to PvP for right now. Like, unless I'm doing hardcore arenas and stuff like that.
Right.
So, I haven't been doing as much lately. But, with these changes in Asheran, it's time to get back in there and see what's going on. So, I will definitely come back with some information and some. I'll give you my hot take.
Sweet. Hot take. Terpster, before we go, you got anything you want to promote? Hypothetical Help's pretty good.
Hypothetical Help, obviously, new episodes out every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Or if you're a backer, Wednesday if you're a scrub. Back us over at patreon.com/hypohelp.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I just come up with new PvP mode. Okay.
Yeah.
It's basically like Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
All right.
You each have a target dummy that you have to either DPS, tank, or heal
Okay.
better than your opponent.
Whoa.
And if you can do more or heal more or take more, you win. There you
video
go.
game
That's how you
the
merge
video game
the two.
industry is not ready for your incredible idea.
I know.
don't know.
And wait. You time walk back to the earlier target dummies that were in the original vanilla game.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one.
All right. I like it. I like it a lot.
Cool.
I forgot to mention earlier, Batman's really good. Everyone should be playing Batman. And
But you can on PC.
You know what? I
they
totally
record it.
can. I mean, they pulled it, but I got it on PC, and I'm kind of scratching my head. Zero issues. None. I don't know what my problem or why I got touched by an angel here, but I have not had a single lockup, slowdown. Frame rate is always. I did the INI edit, and I'm at 60 frames per second, running on max. It looks amazing. I'm not having any problems. So I don't get it. I don't know what happened there. It must be just like diversity of machine problems or something. But those poor guys. Sheesh. And the poor
all
people.
those people with their inferior machines.
I don't know. I don't even think mine's all that
Bitching
great.
and moaning.
It's not even that great. I got a new video card, but other people with my same card are complaining. So I don't know what happened with me. But Batman running great. I've been streaming it. The game's fantastic. It's really, really good. Anyway, Dills,
weird.
what do you got going on?
Let's see. Of course, Daniel Chicken is on Mondays. We talk about Hearthstone exclusively, so you can listen to me and Garrett bitch about how we don't like Tavern Brawl that much, and Jocelyn just talk about how much it's the best thing ever. Check that out on Mondays. And then if you like, or if you are in the Bay Area and you like to play some Hearthstone, come by SF Game Nights. We have a tournament every other Tuesday. We just had one, so it won't be next week, but the week after. But we play every week, regardless. And you can actually win your way into BlizzCon through a very long, arduous process. If you can win one of those, you can actually it's an official tavern what do they call them? The Fireside Gathering. It's an official Fireside Gathering event now.
Nice.
So
Oh, really?
you can, if you win that, your name goes on some special list. Then you have to win some other big tournament that's going to be insane, but that's fine. This is at least a chance. This is a way to do it. This is a way in.
Road to BlizzCon.
Yeah, if you don't like,
Can
if you're
I
not
get
someone
that
who can-
ESL card back or whatever it is? I want to find somewhere I can do that.
which ESL card back?
I don't know what it is. The Flame of Dalaran.
Oh, the
whatever it is.
Tespa. The Tespa.
Yeah.
How
do I get
no,
that?
not through ours. You could have gotten it if you had gone to the Heroes of the Dorm. It's supposedly like just a college
In America.
card back. Yeah. And
Stuff.
I got one because a very nice fan of our show did very nice things for me. So
Oh, very nice. I
you
like-
could also go to like eBay and just
Whoop
buy
you
them for
do.
like $300.
Yeah.
Really? $300?
Yeah, no, it's like crazy. Yeah. And then if you want to watch
I
me
guess I
play
should buy it.
Hearthstone or Heroes or maybe some WoW too at some point, check out my Twitch stream. It's Willie Dills SF, twitch.tv.
Nice. Well, there you go, folks. I got a lot of stuff going on too, but I can't think of anything right now. Well, there is that Heroes thing, so check that out, frogpants.com/hero pants. It's a chance for you to be in a little friendly tournament in and around the community. A bunch of cool people playing.
Friendly.
Oh, way friendly.
Screw that, man. We're taking everybody out.
Except for Dills. He's out for blood.
Oh.
Super hardcore.
What else? Oh, there's so many things. Go to frogpants.com. Follow me on Twitter at Scott Johnson. Terpster is at _T. Willie Dills for Dills on Twitter as well. Not Patrick for Patrick. He should be back next week after his little vacation. Our theme was created by Matthew Oxley. Our intern is Paul Swickard. More shows like this at frogpants.com. It's going to do it for us, for me, for Terpster, and for Dills. We'll see you next time.
Later, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Perfecto. Nicely done.
Bonus.
Fine show. Yeah, that Batman thing. Everyone's like mad at me for not having.
I know.
Problems.
I saw that. It was kind of funny.
It's like I'm not
somehow
trying to be a-
you did it.
Yeah.
You made it not work for them.
Well, I'm trying not to be a dick about it,
Yeah.
but I don't understand why it's so good, and I feel bad for anyone who doesn't get to play
I
it
love
there.
the Batman games as well, man.
It's really good. Like maybe I don't want to get hyperbole here, but it may be my favorite open world game ever. Like it's just really, really well made. I didn't say that about the other two. I love them, but I didn't think they were the best open world games ever made. But as far as like a big GTA style side quest, main quest, traverse a big space sort of
like,
thing, it's
Doesn't
my
he like kill a load of people though with the bat tank?
no. So
Doesn't he
here's
just,
what's
like-
funny about that. I mean,
Does
you could,
everyone fall over asleep?
You
Like,
could-
what happens when you hit a criminal?
you
with
could
the
fake.
car?
So you could fake. You could assume some collateral damage, I guess, from some of the stuff you're saying. But when you shoot actual, like you shoot the railgun, if there are people in the way, it shoots tranquilizing darts instead of bullets. So they die from something else, or they don't die. They fall asleep.
They die
that.
from exposure. He just leaves them out in the cold.
Well, that's true.
sleeping.
That's true. But then the
Probably
other
with,
thing
like,
is when you're about to
broken-
hit a pedestrian guy, you know, they're all criminals, but a guy who's just walking around, the car tases him and he falls to the left or right before you hit him. So they kind of go out of their way to make it so Batman's still not breaking his death rule. It's real weird.
Plus, if he shoots me like rubber bullets, the car has rubber tires,
Right.
so he can run them over, and it's fine. You know, it's
So,
not
yeah,
like
you're-
they're like, yeah,
Now you're getting it. This is exactly the kind of thinking
yeah,
this game has.
nice.
It's really fun though, man. Like they've opened it up in ways I didn't expect, and people who there's some don't like the car stuff. I think the car stuff is really good. Don't have a complaint about that. It's great. It's just a hell of a game. I just want to keep playing it.
Whammo. Okay.
Whammo. You both have the best possible damn weekend you can muster, and let's do
I will-
this
I
again
will do
real
that.
soon. Bye
I
now. Oh. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we're out of here. Thank you all for joining us. You're all lovely human beings. I mean that with every fiber of my being. And I'm hanging up on you now. See you tonight for Current Geek.